This isn't your average personal development video talking about why you should read books. Now, you should read books, but I'm not the wise guy that says read a book a day, bro. You have to finish every book that you pick up. If something's not resonating with you, put it down and move on. Today I'm going to talk about all the books that came into my life at the right time and how they aligned with what was going on in my life or the lessons that I needed to hear at the time. That's what today's video is about. And if you're not reading books, or if you're not even open to reading books, you might miss some serious lessons that God's giving you, that God's putting right in front of you. I know you've all have had those times where a book just keeps popping up. People talking about a certain book. You hear from an author on a podcast or something, and you feel kind of urged or called, like, intrigued about this book, and you want to read it. If this happens to you, it's time to take action. It's time to read these books because there's great lessons that you can learn from them. So today, for example, I just felt an urge to leave this book for a coworker. The book, The Alchemist. Somebody returned it to me. I had it in my book bag. I was like, hey, maybe Maya will like this book. I set it down. I gave it to her. She was like, did Susan tell you to bring this book to me? Because she told me to read this, and when I opened up her book, it was my exact same birthday, the year and everything. Now, if this isn't synchronicity, if this isn't the book choosing us, it's time to listen. It's time to read these books. Take a lesson. It's served right on a platter. You don't even have to go out of your way. But you have to be open to these things. Now let me tell you, I started with The Alchemist. In college, this is one of the first books I started reading on my personal development journey. This is when I was chasing computer science. I was only thinking about making a lot of money. But then I read this book and you start realizing, like, maybe I don't have to do the ordinary thing. The thing that everybody wants me to do. Maybe I can do my own thing, go after my own path. My own personal legend. That's what they call it in the book. But personal legend, your purpose, your mission. So this got me thinking in a new way. Like, maybe I don't have to do what everybody thinks that I should do. Maybe I can make my own decision. Maybe I have a purpose. Now let me figure out what that is. Now the next book was Think and Grow Rich, or Ask and It Is Given. This is when I started realizing that I could think bigger. I could set bigger goals for myself, bigger dreams, and I could use my imagination to help bring that into reality. So this is when I started getting real into the law of attraction, and now you can get overboard with the imagination or the metaphysical, but we want to keep a balance of reality. But this just allowed me to realize that my mind is powerful. What I think about, I bring about. I can't be in this dark, negative place and expect to see good opportunities, to have good relationships, to even have good experiences. So now we move on to how to win friends and influence people. This book was big time in my life too, because now I'm trying to go all in with personal training, with the fitness side of things. Remember, I'm a computer science major, software developer, personal development, connecting with people. I got to work on that. This book literally shaped me, how I deal with clients, how I deal with friends, changed my perspective and my behaviors. Right when I was making a career decision, it just so happened that my buddy, who doesn't read at all, was like, hey, my boss said he makes everybody read this book. It's a powerful book. You got to read it too. I think you would like it. I think it would help you out. And guess what? I read it, and it has a tremendous effect on my life. So remember, we're talking about how these books align with our life. I know I'm keeping it brief. I don't want this video to be too long. So I got a couple other books for you. Now this is when the war of art comes into play. The battle against resistance. How we win the battle against ourselves. Because there's more inside of us. We have these big goals that we got from Think and Grow Rich. We're using our imagination. We're trying to visualize, but there's this resistance in us. There's these limiting beliefs that we have that are stopping us from moving forward. That's stopping us from taking action. We have all these things holding us back. Now that's when this book came into my life, and now it's time to take action. What is this resistance? Can you battle it? Guess what the number one thing is to beat resistance? It's consistency. Just keep going. Keep going. Keep moving forward. Show up day in, day out. You will see results. Things will change in your life. So this is when I meet this guy named Sean Croxton, and he's like, all right, it's time you read this book called Goals. by Brian Tracy. I want you to read this entire book and bring all your goals with you the next time we meet. So another book I wouldn't have read if I would have chosen it. Somebody says, hey, read this book. I think it's time you read this book. I think it's time that you get specific on your goals. You got all these things on your mind that you want to do, that you want to accomplish. Let's get specific. Sorry about that. And yes, it was a whole entire book on writing down your goals, but it's not about figuring out your goals in just one area. We figure out our goals with our health, with our relationship. We're basically getting specific about our entire life and how we want to live, how we want it to be. And it made me realize that there's a lot more than just the career focus and the health. We have relationships. We want to have kids. We want a family. We want financial stability always. So this came at the perfect time, where I was battling resistance, where I knew I had to take action, and I had to start focusing on other areas of my life and improving those areas. But I've read a bunch of other books over the years that had to do with spirituality, health, finances. And it's just about picking up books that align with you, that you can resonate with. Because you don't have to spend all this time reading book after book after book. I've been there too, where I just wanted to read and read and read, thinking I'm getting a whole bunch of stuff out of it. Most of the time you do. But it's okay to put a book down. If other people really like this book and it just doesn't work for you, who cares? Be you, be different. Find the books that work for you. Find the things that intrigue you. And remember that you don't have to take everything to be true in every single one of these books. You can develop your own philosophies, your own ideas. But be open-minded to think a little differently, to expand your knowledge, and to learn and to use these lessons in the book for your own life, to improve yourself. Remember, these exercises that are given, try them out. The lessons that you learn from them, use them. Don't ignore them, because then you'll just have to learn through experiences. But let's learn through these other people. And let's develop ourselves. Remember, I'm here to ignite your passion. Be you and be different. Peace and one love, always.